Hello basketball coaches and basketball players, my name is Alan from Al's Basketball Training, and today I'm going to give you some simple sideline and baseline inbounds plays that you can use at the high school level. So I'm going to give you 3 from the sideline as well as 3 from the baseline. All of these are ran against a man-to-man defense. So let's get down to the clipboard and let's check this out. But really quickly, first, if you want some custom basketball practice plans for your team, go check out the link in the description below. Okay, so first in this first play, what we're going to be having is player 1 is obviously our point guard. We want to try and get him the ball first. So we're going to have player 2. He's going to be setting a screen down for player 1, and player 1 is going to be popping up. If he's open, give him the ball. He could take the 3-point shot, or you can set up your offense. Next, what's going to happen, let's say he's covered, we're going to have player 4 popping down, and he's going to be setting a screen for player 2. Player 2 is going to be popping out here. Again, we can set up a play. At least we got the ball inbounded. He can take that shot, or we can see what happens next, which is this. Our next part of the play is for player 4 to set a screen for player 5. Player 5 is going to use that screen, and he can set up for a mid-range shot, or he can go right in for a layup. Now, another option as well, we all seen player 3 coming across the court. Well, he could use player 1 as a screen. If he is open, you can do a skip pass over to him for a 3-point shot or to set up the offense. So there's a couple of different options that come out of this basketball play. Okay, so now for this second sideline inbounds play, we're going to have player 2. He's going to be setting a screen down for player 1. Player 1 is going to be using that screen, and he is going to be our number 1 option to get the ball inbounded to him. Now, whoever gets that ball inbounded to them, we're going to have player 4 setting a screen down for player 5. He's going to be popping up to the elbow for the nice mid-range shot. Or at least that's one option. Player 1 could also just set up the offense as well. That's another option. However, what I mean by that is what I mean by player 5, in this case going up towards the elbow, let's say player 1 was covered. Well, player 2 is going to pop out. That's going to draw player 2 right out. Player 4 is still going to be setting a screen down. We're going to be having player 1 setting a screen for player 3 as well, so that when player 5 cuts across, again, same thing as what happened before, we're going to have a skip pass possibility for a 3-point shot, or we could have player 5 down low for the layup. Okay, so now for this third sideline inbounds play, we've got a straight line along the baseline. So this may just actually confuse the other team just altogether, because they'll be like, well, why are these guys way over here when the ball is way over here? Well, let me explain to you. So what we're going to be having first here is player 5 setting a screen out for player 4. Player 4 is going to be taking a high cut across, looking at the player who's inbounding the ball. This could be a quick, easy pass and drive towards the basket. The reason why it could be an easy drive towards the basket is because player 2 is also setting a screen for player 1. So we may have an open lane for the basket. What also could happen is player 2 could play down, help defense, pass out for a 3-point shot, or if neither of these options are open, what we can have now is player 5 popping up towards the 3-point line to hopefully get open as a backup inbounding player. Or we could have player 1 open, cutting along the point, who's going to be open for the pass. Now, we can set up our offense here, or what could happen is player 4 can continue through, and he can set a screen for player 2, who's going to be then doing a high cut across. And at this point, this could be a nice quick shot as well. So it all comes down to how much time you have left on the clock. We can have different options where player 2 can get a shot. We can have an option where player 4 drives, player 1 can take a shot, or we just get the ball inbounded and we can set up our offense, whatever our offense may be. So this is another play that you can run, but this time it's going to be against the baseline. And this is a play that is kind of rare for us to run, but it's still a lot of fun to run this play. So basically what we're going to be having is player 2, he's our guard, but he's going to be trying to seal player 2 so that he may have an option to get the ball passed to him for a layup. But while that's happening down there, we're going to be having player 5 come up and player 4 come up and set a sandwich screen on player 1. Player 2 also needs to be paying attention to what's happening up here. The reason for that is player 1 can pop over here, which is what our number 1 option is. If this is a nice solid screen, we can have a nice open shot. He can drive right towards the rim. This could be an easy layup. There's a couple of different options here. However, if he uses player 4 as a screen, player 2 needs to clear out, and player 1 is going to be cutting towards the rim, and now he may be open for a left-handed layup. Meanwhile, with player 2 popping, if player 2 red sees what's happening and says, oh, I just want to protect the key, well, now player 2 blue is open for a nice open, wide open 3-point shot or mid-range shot. So this is a great play to run, especially against a man-to-man defense. This can also work really well against a zone as well. Let me show you why. So against a zone, I know I was saying at the beginning of the video, I'll only show you plays against man, but this play does work really well because most likely what you're going to be seeing is player 3 is going to be playing really low, trying to block the inbounds. We're going to be seeing player 5, he's going to be playing the middle, and player 4 is going to be playing over here. Now, we're going to be having player 5 setting a screen on player 1 and player 2. Player 1 cuts over here, there's nobody to guard him. If player 2 cuts across, well, now they're all going to be swinging over towards this side. We may have player 1 open to drive that lane, but because player 3 is most likely defending player 3 player 3 blue, trying to block that inbounds pass, and player 5 is nowhere near the position he needs to be to go and protect that shot, we also have an option for player 2 to get a 3-point shot as well. So whether it be player 2 cutting across or player 1 leaking down from the screen from player 5, we're going to have an open shot on this side. There's so many teams that try to attack the key against the 2-3 zone, but this is a very viable option. And even if player 3 was just a bit higher, blocking any kind of shot in this area, player 1 just has to go out to the free throw line extended, a lob pass to player 1, and you've got yourself a shot. And then, if player 3 was quick, we can have player 5 pop out. We can now have player 4 pop out. We can set a screen for player 4. Player 3 can pop out here, and now we've swung the ball around, and now we have a 3-point shot on that side. So again, a fantastic play for both man-to-man and zone defense. So this one I call high box. Now, in our high box, instead of setting up in a box down here, we're setting up a bit higher. This is going to allow us to have lots of room down here to operate. So, we're going to have player 5 setting a screen for player 1, player 4 setting a screen for player 2. Now, what this is essentially doing is isolating player 5 to guard essentially 2 players. And what I mean by this is player 1 is going to be popping down towards this side. Now, if he switches off, you now have a mismatch here, and player 5 can roll towards the basket. If there's a switch, player 5 needs to roll. Player 2 needs to see this. This is why it's a simple play, but this one is a bit more advanced. Because if player 2 doesn't see that happening and he cuts down the middle, we now have 2 players cutting down the middle, and it's going to be way too congested. So we're going to have player 5, if he gets the switch, he's going to be rolling. This is going to be a wide open shot. Now, player 2, if player 5 rolls, player 2 needs to go and cut across the court, and he's going to be open as well, possibly at just to the right of the point. Now, if there's no switch, if player 1 comes out here, there's no switch, player 1 fights through, there's no option, player 5 is going to pop, and now we have player 2 using that screen, and he's going to be cutting down the middle. I don't want him cutting down this side and the screen being on that side. Player 4 is going to be able to defend that. But, screen on this side, player 2 uses that screen and cuts down the middle. Now, what's going to happen is if player 4 does switch off, player 3 can still pass player 2 the ball, and player 2 can go up on this side of the rim, using the rim as a defender from the block. he needs to go in, possibly underhand, or trying to get it up as high off the backboard as possible so that player 2 cannot come in behind him and pin him. If he's able to use that rim as a defender and use his body as a defender, he should be able to get in for that layup. This last play can be ran against a zone defense as well as a man-to-man defense. We called this the S play. I've showed you a few times on this channel. Basically, let's say this guy's name is Tyler. Well, we're going to say ST. ST, ST. That means that it's a shooting play. S means shooting. And Tyler. So Tyler is shooting. So when we call that, player 3 gets the ball. He's going to be running in between players 4 and 5. They're going to sandwich screen. They're going to be closing in on player 1. Player 1 blue is going to pop out, and this is going to be a 3-point shot. Now, if player 1 is not open and we're still trying to get the ball in bounds, I want player 2 to be popping up top over towards this side, and player 4 needs to see that, hey, player 1 got through. I need to go set a screen for player 2 so that player 2 is open for at least the inbounds. He can take that shot if he is able to, but I just want to set up the offense at that point in time. We need to make sure that our screens are solid so that player 1 is open for that shot, because that is what we're calling and that's what we need. I hope that these plays help your team win more games. If they do, let us know in the comment section below. I'd love to hear from you. And also, check out the custom basketball practice plans in the link in the description below. I'll see you guys again later on today for the second video of the day.